Okay.
Yeah.
So, tuendelee. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Polly, you've got many hits. Don't mind us.
So Missing My Baby became big. I frequented Tanzania a lot and Uganda too. And that was now became a lot of gigging. Then I got an opportunity right after Missing My before Missing My Baby became like really, really huge. Yeah. I got an opportunity. There's a lady who was doing a production in Norway, and she was looking for people to feature in the production. And she was at the go down, and she said, I'm looking for a singer, an actor, and a dancer. I have a production I'd like to feature them in. And she was told, okay, fine, guys, audition. So most guys wakasikia audition. Mi msanii mkubwa, mi siendi audition. So I remember I asked one of the guys at the go down, I'm like, why does she want to audition? I wanted to understand. And they're like, she has her production and she wants to see if she can fit you in the production. And by then I was looking to fund this VCD. I needed to get my VCD out. And yes, the shows were coming, but you have bills. So yeah, I was like, I'm going to take this gig. I'm going to take it. So I went, I auditioned. Luckily, I could find a competition mob. And I got the gig. And it was good. It was good.
Good money and
that
good gig.
That was one of the sweetest gigs ever.
What?
So it involved us going to Norway and exhibiting Kenyan pop culture. And we were performing for high school kids in Norway. Initially, I think even when we were signing the contract, we didn't understand like how intensive it would be. But I like the fact that she then now harnessed my performance skills. There was what I had learned from Nameless. There's what now I had crafted as my performance as Amani. And then now she came from the background of being an opera singer, just basically how you present yourself on stage in conjunction with the band. Responding, when to take your cue, when to go up, when to turn, when to do what, because it was a production. And I learned a lot. Nice. I learned so much from her. And of course, because she was an opera singer, vocal performance now was very important. I was working now towards just not lip syncing half of my performances to actually just holding a proper performance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So you went to Norway for how long?
It became a frequent gig. So we used to go to Norway for 3 weeks, every spring and every autumn.
Which other artists did you go with from Kenya?
Kanda King and Idi Acheng. Idi Acheng was now from the theater acting part, and Kanda, of course, was dance.
Yeah.
And she had a production where we did that together, and the pop culture was Safari, and there was also Norwegian who was now a guitarist, and we had a good time.
Okay, just because you've brought this up, I don't know if it's time for it, but the next thing I saw you, because you brought up the international vibe, the next thing I saw you was on an international song. Is this around the same time?
No.
Okay, then nitanyamaza.
Nafika hapo
Serious? You've done things. Okay.
Missing My Baby natolewa. So that's the time now I've started making, I think that was my proper, like making trips abroad frequently.
Have you gone to State Tour this time?
Bado.
Okay.
I've not gone to the States at this time. So then I was going to Norway quite frequently. So every April and every October, I went to Norway consistently for 3 years.
Yeah. How was it with the international market? I know you're not singing your own songs.
Yeah. It was different. You see, when you're there, you learn a lot. Now you learn how to perform, whether the crowd is responding or not. And what happened for me those 3 years is my performance was enhanced. I became more of a seasoned performer.
Yep.
So I came from that whole thing of just being on stage and what to hold, and hoping that the screams will carry the entire performance to actually having a performance on stage. Yeah.
That's powerful. Okay.
So that was now, by the time I did my trips back and forth, I mean, Missing My Baby blew up. It was big. It was huge. And it was time to now release the album. And for the album, for me, I released
Tonight
the
hasn't
album.
come out.
Tonight, not yet.
Okay.
So then when I was releasing the album, around that time, Lucas told me, when I released the album, we released the album, and you know they're already selling and everything. And Lucas is like, tonight, guys in Tanzania like tonight. I'm like, Tanzania, surely. Hawachelewi. So then I remember AY told me, he's like, oh, by the way, your song tonight is a hit in a place in southern Tanzania called Mbeya. I'm like,
who is Mbeya?
How did that song get there anyway? But I was happy. I'm like, that's what I'm hoping for. And I remember Francis telling me, you need to do a good video for this one. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, that Pan-African song we've been looking for.
We've got it.
This is the one.
And I'm waiting for my baby in my home. Can't believe I still feel the way I do now. Amenipenda mie toka awali. Penzi lake tamu kama asali. Na leo, ni leo, oh oh, I will give them all of me. Na leo, ni leo, oh oh, I will give them all of me. Tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh, I said tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh. Tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh, I said tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh. Charlie wangu yonipenda tena sana, nikimuona ninajazwa na furaha, tabasamu lake poa tena sana, amenijali mie toka awali. Na leo, ni leo, oh oh, I will give him all of me. Na leo, ni leo, oh oh, I will give him all of me. Tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh, I said tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh. Tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh, I said tonight, I'm letting go, oh oh.
And nilikuwa nimeenda tu trips kidogo Norway, narudi and everything. Album sasa ndio inatoka. Still focused on getting my VCD out. And that was my primary goal. So the reasoning for me behind the VCD is the fact that I'd seen Esther and how she'd really grown and everything. And I was like, this is something she's doing right. And if it's this CD thing, then that's good. So I remember asking her, I'm like, so who distributes VCDs? And she laughed. She told me, she asked me, you want to meet them? And I'm
The
like,
mafia.
yeah, you know, I'm naive in that aspect. I'm like, yeah, let's meet these people, you know? And she told me, she's like, okay. So I remember meeting one of them and I was like, I want to meet many so I can decide. So in my head, I thought I'm the one who decides. Till I realized they decide.
The mafia, but
So I didn't realize the kind of mafia that situation was. Me huko I'm oblivious. I'm thinking tayari niko na CD. So CD is out, you know. Missing My Baby is doing very well. I'm working towards releasing tonight and I'm thinking tonight will come out at the same time when the video is coming out. It will be nice. VCD, nini. You know, I'm planning things here. Then I discovered kuna mafia downtown. Now your mafia, you're not the one who decides who distributes. They decide whether they want to distribute you or not.
Yep.
So even as you go to them, humble yourself because he might decide not to take you or not. So I decided, hey, I'm going to have options because, you know, at least if I've gone to like 5, hopefully one will have agreed. So I met a few of them and there's one particular one I was pushing to meet. Like, I want to meet this guy. And I met him. Your office, kwa sijui wapi. He smells za nyama ziko natoka huko kwa side. But I went and I was like, this is one of the biggest distributors in, like, I'd say Eastern and Central Africa. These guys, yes, they'll distribute. You'd be like, can I distribute song yangu Kenya? Where? that thing used to make its way across Pan-Africa. You know, it just had a way. And for me, I think it was just the intrigue. I wanted to meet him and see how he thinks and everything. I was intrigued. So I went for the meeting. Finally, I met him. I tried. First time I went, I missed him. Second time I missed him. And finally I met him. And I was like, if he doesn't take it, that's fine. I have my plan B. But I want to know how this guy thinks. And that was my aim at that meeting. And I learned a lot. So he was like, yeah. He's like, najua nyinyi mahip-hop hamkujangi huku. I'm like, usijali tumekuja. So in that meeting, I also learned that, no, it wasn't that meeting. I'll come to that. So I learned a lot about who's selling, who's not selling, how their network is. I realized that network goes as far as Congo, Zaire, and downwards. So they knew each other. So this guy knows the major guy in TZ, the major guy in TZ knows the major guy in Zambia, the major guy in Zambia knows the major guy in Malawi, the major guy in Malawi knows the major guy, as in it's a network. So once song yako imeingia hiyo box sasa, hiyo VCD imeingia ndo hivyo. And I thought to myself, I told Francis, that Pan-African thing you've been talking about, it's this VCD. We're finally going to enter the roots. And he was like, are you serious? I'm like, so I explained to him what that guy told me. He said that they have networks, that this guy distributes with this guy, and this guy distributes with this guy, and this guy gets songs from this guy, and this guy. And he was like, oh, so they're not competitors, they work together. So then we realized how that web was. It was intact. Because now Esther alikuwa mehit. Esther alikuwa nafanya show Zambia na Malawi. Now unashindwa, hey, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, how? But now I realized how that happened. And Congo and everything is because it was a network of distributors who collaborated with each other. And I told him, we may not make that much money from this. But penetration, we got it straight. And that's what I wanted. I wanted market penetration.
Because they'd call you for gigs.
Thank you. So I was like, album, yes. Gigs, yes. You know, I just want to make my money back. So I sat down, I calculated VCD, money cost this much. At least let me make this money back. You know. So I didn't get to be distributed by him, but I got distributed by someone else. So when I was going to this other guy, who do I meet? Tom of Caliph. I'm like, Jua Kali. Hey, this guy is harsh. This guy is harsh. So the people I knew who were huko downtown. Nikajua kama huyu amejua hizi ma networks za huko. Guys do not know what they are dealing with. You know, Caliph was down there. They were on the ground. So I knew Jua Kali was going to be huge. Because if you're able to just get into that network. So of course I asked Tom, mefanya nani? Wapi? Na mnafanya? I was like, hey, guys, those are the guys, those are male artists are not seeing this guy, but if this guy is able to pull off this thing, it's a wrap.
It's over.
And that happened. So you see what happens when you used to get now that network is not really there anymore. But when you used to get that distribution, sasa yo ya VCD and everything, it got played. It's the one that got played in my threes. It's the one that got played in the clubs. And it not only got played in Kenya, it got played in Tanzania, you know, everywhere. So long as your songs could adapt into those markets, they were played.
And those guys are so powerful. They even make you change your album title to the name of the hit song.
Yes.
I took Mavuno Worship there. They changed it for Mavuno Worship ni nani.
Oh, wow.
Itaiki to Under the Rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are so connected.
They are so connected, and just sitting them and learning how, in my view, I wish that structure had been maintained, because those guys had such a beautiful structure and had an ear for music. A distributor was just not a distributor because yeye ni distributor tu. Alikuwa nasikia nichezee hiyo kitu. Kasema uko na ingine isipokuwa Missing My Baby. I told him, man, niko nayo. Uko sure? Kaambia, yeah. He said, cheza. So I play. And he doesn't have to try and humor you at the song is nice till the end of the song. Literally 40 seconds. Yo igine. Na yo ni mzuri. Sawa, wacha tuongee. As in, it's just, he's not there to humor you or anything.
It's business.
He's meaning business. And his songs ataisikia 30 seconds, 40 seconds, he'll decide whether it's hit or not. What we don't have in this industry today is we do not have people who can tell a hit song by just hearing. They're have to experiment. They have to put it out there for people to respond. And then they'll be like, okay, that's a hit song.
I'm so jazzed that you went down into that market. Very few artists who have sat here with, especially the urban artists, have understood or even ventured into that River Road world, the pro boxes and understanding how all these things are distributed. So did you give them, did Tom's, the guy via Tom, did they take your VCD?
Tom was doing his own deals. Uko is everyone for himself, God for us all. I've seen Tom, cheers, you handle your business, I'll handle mine. But even Tom, when he saw me there, I was like, who is Dame? Mommy, I'm like, nope, I'm coming for yours. Your lesson mulionesha uko mbele.
Your curtain raisins here, is kazi yangu.
Tutafanya hiyo kazi. So, I now was ready for the VCD and I told Lucas, I'm like, okay, fine, we've shot the video for tonight, we've gotten everything together.
But tonight hasn't been released?
Tonight has not been released. Okay. And my aim was Pan-African. I was like, we're going for Pan-African now. Fine, we've released album, yes, Missing My Baby, yes, Tamani, yes, good. Can we do Pan-African now? And at that point in time, P-Square was blowing up.
Yeah.
So I knew kulikuwa na kamarket kengine huko nje. And my agent in Uganda was also P-Square's agent.
What?
So he called me and he was
First of all,
like,
how did you get an agent?
They call you.
Oh, they call you?
Yeah.
But they call you not because of the work you've been doing and the noise that you're making. They don't just call anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so they called you and asked you, can I be your agent and organize for you in Uganda?
He said, can I represent you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So...
Amani. People don't know. Here are flowers. Have some samosas. I don't have flowers, but have samosas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then at that point in time, he kept telling me, P-Square is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And I'm like, okay. You know, I'm like, sawa. You know, I agree. And I thought to myself, if P-Square is going to be huge, who's the girl? Since you all want to put us into female and male artists.
Yeah.
But then as me as far as I was concerned, an artist is an artist. It depends on how much, what they're putting out.
Yep.
Don't categorize me into a male, female artist. No, I'm an artist. If I have a hit song, just like the male artist, we're artists. Yeah. So, So I remember we're doing a gig. Yani kile kitu niliona P-Square. Nilikuwa nimezoea vitu huko. To gigs to huko. Nikaona gig. I saw performance. Those guys could perform on stage.
Hey, they could.
And by then they're not even released. Is it that song Do It?
Do Me,
yeah. They're not released Do Me.
What?
But on stage, they were quite good.
Yep.
So me then, I knew Two-Face. And I told my agent, they're better than Two-Face, Obi. Come with it. I went and I was like, hey, how was that stuff? Someone else. So by the time Do Me was coming out, I was like, yeah, there's a market for the Pan-African sound. And I even remember Lucas was like, these guys have gotten it. And I remember Lucas saying, he said, if other Nigerians catch on to this thing,
we're over.
It's a wrap. And if they hold on to it, we will never be able to catch it again. So P-Square discovered the formula for the Pan-African sound and they ran with it.
They ran with it.
You're
right. Two-Face had given us African Queen, but when P-Square came from there, like hit after hit,
it was
after
this
hit.
after this after this after this, and then when they get on stage, they are good, and you're thinking, oh my goodness. And Lucas was like, these guys. He kept saying these guys, and it's like, do they have more? Dibanja kakuja. And he told me, unajua watu wakishikilia hii kitu na wakose kuachilia, you guys are done for. As in, he just told us the truth that if these guys get hold of this sound and they run with it and they keep reinventing it, you will never catch up with them. And that's what happened. They got hold of the Pan-African sound and they ran with it. So from P-Square, it was D'banj. From D'banj, your Davidos and your Wizkids came up, and till today, they are taking the sound and they are running with it. But nyinyi bado mko hapo mnataka, you want to change how people love music. It's not possible. It's culture. It's culture. You can't change culture. As an individual, you can't say you're going to love my song. Mtu amekuwa amelelewa, amesikia vitu zake, utambadilisha vipi? It's you to change. If that's what you want. However, if you want to be extremely artsy and display your art, you know.
The different types of musicians. The ones who... Yeah, but okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, if you want to be extremely artsy and share your art, which is amazing, by the way, and it's beautiful, and it's always refreshing to listen to that music, there's a place for that. But if you're after pop, just know pop means popular. So find out what is popular and align yourself.
Yes.
But
Popular
don't be doing things that are not popular and expecting to achieve what someone popular is doing, pop is doing.
That's exactly what us we were trying.
It won't happen.
It didn't.
Yes.
I agree. It
So
didn't.
just align yourself with what pop is. It is popular music. But if you want to have a different genre, no problem. You know, you're still expressing yourself as an artist. So at that point in time, you know, the VCD came out. I didn't realize the impact of VCD until now the shows started coming. And it was across the country. And when I say across the country, grassroots, kuna places.
No way.
Yani uko nafikiria unaweza enda. It was not the major towns now. It was now uko interior until you're scared. These are guys who you ask for upfront payment. Unamwambia tuma mtu wako na kuja na upfront yote. Si mtu wako ako hapo. Si in case I try to run away, you'll grab me, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
So it was upfront, and we did a lot of Kenyan shows, and then now the East African ones came, and it just kept going and going and going.
So of course, in this whole time, you released Tonight.
That time Tonight is released.
And again, the response
Was crazy. Actually, before Tonight, I remember doing a US tour based now on Missing My Baby. It was quite successful. And when I was beginning my US tour,